Heavenly Hall. Look at that. They really did make a fire right in front of the shack. Wäre der Hit, wenn die Hütte jetzt auch noch abbrennt.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
You're too late, Nick. If you came here for one of our potatoes, we've already polished them all off. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. Okay, ist ja schon mal gut, dass das Spiel uns offenbar sagen will, dass wir nichts mehr brauchen. Und alles haben, um das hier jetzt zu knacken. Bin mal gespannt, ob ich das jetzt auch hinkriege. Fällt mir ein, dass ich noch kein einziges Mal gespeichert habe, seit ich angefangen habe. Jetzt kann ich das auch nicht mal. Na gut, da werde ich schon nicht bei drauf gehen. You're too late, Nick. Pearls is gonna be my new wife. Ja, das könnte ich mir sogar noch. Bei dem ist nichts undenkbar. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Elise Dunham's room reading a book together, correct?
Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end.
You didn't go.
No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried. I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous.
So Pearls never went to Miss Dunham's room because she was too worried about something or someone else. Pearls. On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? Okay. In the temple, würde ich sagen, you went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she's still not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? Then the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now I'm going to take a guess and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay?
You mean you know?
If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth?
Okay.
You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this. Maya? Aber das kann ja nicht sein. Ich hätte jetzt gedacht, dass er wegen dem Brief dahin gegangen ist. Aber vielleicht nicht. It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. Ich meine, es kann ja sein, dass sie beides vorhatte. Erstmal gucken, wie es Maya geht und dann das mit dem Brief probieren. Sie wusste aber wahrscheinlich auch nicht, was... Vielleicht hat sie den Brief gelesen und die Hälfte davon gar nicht verstanden. Ich meine, ich kann mir nicht wirklich vorstellen, dass sie tatsächlich vorhatte, irgendwie Misty, Faye und Maya und so weiter zu schaden. It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it?
Huh?
You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was the special course.
I signed up for your special course. Well, my, what brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one of those you channel.
Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazakura Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you?
Thinking about what could happen to Mystic Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing in the inner temple.
Then we're clear now that you went to the inner temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the inner temple?
It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started, but there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock.
Until after 10? How did you know what time it was?
Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out.
Yeah, she heard the lights out bell. The Hazakura Temple bell's pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing.
I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible.
She was trying to hear the bell? Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell? Stand da was in dem Brief dazu? Ja, oder? As soon as you hear the lights out bell. Ja. I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this. Aha. You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper.
Where did you?
In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls, you were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell.
I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing.
Oh, ich hab gerade... Mir ist gerade was aufgefallen. Ah, das sage ich jetzt noch nicht. Gucken, ob wir da jetzt direkt hinkommen. These instructions that were found in the incinerator, I believe they were written for you, Pearls.
For me, I know.
As you can see, a large portion has been burned, but the last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and their purpose for writing it, whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was... Immer noch 3 Locks, huh? It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Okay, jetzt noch 2. It's just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris whose sister Bikini met at the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, or rather, Pearls as Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I've never heard of anyone by the name before reading those instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. Maybe she's better off not knowing. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls, who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow? Ja, können wir direkt selber beantworten. Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you. That's why.
How did you...
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. All right, Pearls. It's time you started telling me the truth.
Mr. Nigga,
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child.
Huh?
If you're trying to say I follow these instructions, I'd like to see some proof.
What?
Because I don't think you have any.
She'd say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls. We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you.
I knew it.
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
Huh? How do you know that?
It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that. Nee, wo ist es denn jetzt? Ist es vielleicht das hier? Mit dem Gravely Roast und sie hat Gravy verstanden und deswegen war Gravy an der Rolle. I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given, but you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. Wahrscheinlich jetzt das. Aha, ich bin so klug. K-L-U-K. It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
What? Why would I do something like...
Do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. Das habe ich jetzt tatsächlich nicht gewusst. Das ist mir jetzt tatsächlich so gekommen. Wie gesagt, ich erinnere mich an kaum noch was. Ich weiß noch eine große Sache, die ich natürlich nicht verrate, aber ansonsten ist es so, als würde ich es gerade fast blind spielen. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right?
How do you know that?
Frage ich mich ja echt, was da im Japanischen dann war, da zum Verwechseln. Remember the conversation you had with Miss Junium on the night of the murder? Perhaps we can read some books together.
Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading, though.
Ah, well then, would you like to practice reading with me?
Miss Elise, so, for example, how do you read this?
It says gravely. It's kind of a tough word. Hat sie ihr da sogar den Brief gezeigt? Sure, Miss Dunham taught you how to read gravely and roast, but what she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely.
Gravy sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food. And that's why...
Ach, die Stimmen kommen dauernd hin. Ich bring die Stimmen durcheinander. And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast.
To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit, yeah.
I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing, and I couldn't even do it right.
Okay, let's hear it. Night of the crime.
After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of the leftover gravy.
The gravy?
Yeah, I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the Mass of Kurain, like it said in the letter.
I see, and then?
Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow, so I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go to the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started, and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get the words. But then,
Pearl, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it.
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for hours too. It happens. Yeah, nobody asked you. Oh, du musst jetzt weg. Okay. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple.
Yes, and I woke up. It was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, then I heated up the leftover gravy and
let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. What a sad event. It must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. Ja, kann ich ihm nicht vorwerfen. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry. Okay, what about your lost powers?
It was written right in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No. I tried, but I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it?
I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and I tried and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time.
Vielleicht ist sie doch noch nicht tot?
But I just couldn't do it.
Don't let it get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Whoosh, just like that. Und ich habe noch eine andere Idee. So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what it is anyway?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Ja, den Gedanken hatte ich nämlich vorhin. Someone else? What do you mean?
Well, there's only one of each spirit, right?
Yep, it's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see your hot chick if she's already taken. Then that would mean, on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearl could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne. Why?
I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish.
Her final wish?
Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This ladder. I definitely need to find out more about it. Okay.
My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary.
Penitentiary? Let's check this out. If this is the right pronunciation.
penitentiary.
Okay, cool. Habe ich richtig gesagt. Yeah, I know Pearls.
I visit her every month. And last month, she told me. The time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan. My angel, you'll be doing a great thing. Now listen carefully and I'll tell you where the letter is hidden. My mother's always nice to me. I love her very much.
Ich nehme an, sie weiß nicht mal, warum ihre Mutter im Gefängnis ist.
Yeah, moms will do anything for their kids, right?
She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her.
Oh, wenn du nur wüsstest.
I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Neek?
I guess so, yeah.
There was a picture with her letter too.
A picture?
Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh?
Like Larry knows anything about this stuff. Kannst du vielleicht einfach die Klappe halten und nicht andauernd mit reinreden?
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
Uh-oh. Wer könnte denn das gemacht haben?
That sure is pretty strange.
Halt die Klappe. Someone had opened it already. Orders from Morgan Fay, opened once before. Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother's watching over us, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Huh. Ich hab's gewusst, dass es ist. Finally figured it out, have you tried? You finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious... Huh? Also, how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. Good old. The entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, tried. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Hör auf damit, das kann den Phoenix dafür. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realized that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. Das ist so eine dumme Logik von ihm. You were the only one who could have saved them. They didn't know anything about what was going on. Huh. What did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow. We'll settle everything in court tomorrow. Once and for all.
Mr. Nick, is what that man just said true?
He'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya is alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick.
Oh dear.
My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child. My Pearl. It's better that you don't know what you have done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the master's seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time.
Ay caramba. 9:39 District Court. Defendant lobby number 1.
Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself?
Ah, morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Miss Maya.
I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick logs in the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Oh, du warst das. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? That's doch klar. Who else would it be but Godot? Godot? Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She has been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks. Wow. Sie macht mal was Nettes, ist ja nicht zu fassen. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the loss of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we'll receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your code on to someone else. Literally. And with that, I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. Ich frage mich, ob da im Japanischen irgendwas mit Kase war, was ja Erkältung, aber auch Wind heißen kann. Wo er dann eben meinte, literally, irgendwie vielleicht ist deine Kase weggeflogen, dass er das gesagt hat. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. Also, so gut vorbereitet wie immer. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Junim, Miss Misty Fay. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Uhr, District Court, Courtroom Number 7. Ist jetzt wenigstens wieder der... der normale Richter ist wieder da.
Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Your Honor, what are you...
Oh, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of the eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him.
Vielleicht hat er sich jetzt angesteckt. Wobei Phoenix war doch gar nicht im Gerichtssaal. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. Well, that explains a lot.
My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here.
It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment.
Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. Sag mal ein bisschen Milch reintun.
So then you mean, no, forget it. What the hell do you mean?
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
Confession? The defendant.
Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first?
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession.
Geht ja gut los. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to?
Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Dunham?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place.
Uh-huh.
After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard, where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court, order. Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice in the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Huh. Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Tried? That Godot. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone? I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Kurain tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that is why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Kurain channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee you tried.
She's naming Maya?
Order in the court. So not only do you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya could never do such a...
The defense will refrain from commanding until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. Allerdings.
I went to the inner temple that night, and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So it wasn't self-defense?
Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first.
Warum würde die denn ihre eigene Tochter angreifen?
That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something is not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night, and that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Eieiei. Kann man jetzt erstmal nur pressen, würde ich sagen. Went to the inner temple at night and I saw it all happen in the garden. Okay. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Objection!
Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? I was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she?
No.
I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There. We all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor,
I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. You're saying that the victim attacked Maya, I mean Miss Faye.
yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear.
This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike.
She moved in to deliver a fatal strike.
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And Elise Dunham tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Faye?
Yes, exactly.
Huh. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Do I have a problem with Iris' testimony? Naja, da war doch ein Schwert in einem Stab drin. Ich weiß noch nicht, ob wir das jetzt schon verraten sollen, dass wir das wissen. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do?
But this
Witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Wie toll sich der Richter immer von allen was vorschreiben lässt. Okay, now, let's continue. She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. She threw her staff away?
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff.
Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff. Ja, das ist total unlogisch. Warum würde sie das wegwerfen, um einen kleinen Dolch zu ziehen, wenn sie ein Schwert in dem Stab hatte? Da können wir bestimmt gleich das Schwert präsentieren.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, it's all right.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with a dagger, I'm sure of this.
Okay. Pulled a dagger from inside her robe. Das würde sie niemals tun, weil sie hatte doch ein Schwert zur Verfügung. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Miss Dunham throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with a staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Jr. really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? That was an impressive bit of investigating, tried. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? Und dann wird es wohl doch keine Szene geben, wo wir den plötzlich präsentieren, ne? Weil irgendjemand das mit dem Schwert weiß, obwohl er es nicht wissen sollte. Schade. A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Woher kann ja noch passieren? Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well, anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Recht? Werden wir?
Mr. Wright,
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Jr. would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Das da? Vielleicht?
Well, Mr. Goodall.
If you ask me, the only thing that seems strange is the angle of Mr. Trite's index finger. Trite, sticking your finger in an electrical outlet might be safer for you. Aber otherwise, it might get bitten off the next time you poke it in the wrong place.
ah,
Ow. Still don't think that Miss Junior would ever attack Maya. Muss ich vielleicht einfach... Irgendwas muss ich präsentieren, was bedeutet, dass es in Wahrheit Misty Fey ist. If you think about the relationship, it's obvious. Muss ich vielleicht einfach das Profil präsentieren?
Why do you not think it over one more time?
Very well, Your Honor. Ich hätte es aber eigentlich fair gefunden, dass der Talisman auch gilt, weil der Talisman ja von Elise getragen wurde und der Talisman beweisen sollte, dass sie Misty Fey ist. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Wright.
Never. Okay, das ist derselbe Text. Gucken wir uns das Profil mal an. Real name Misty Fey. Maya's mother and master of the Korean channeling technique. Das muss es aber sein.